Okay, I have no idea who's gonna see this or click on the video, but hi! It's been a long time since I've posted on this channel, let alone a video essay. I never really done one before. The closest I could get to were commentary videos of BFDI, but those were all kind of surface level. This is a full-on video essay on my favorite character, and this is probably the longest one I've ever wrote for media literature. I'm gonna have a yap session about this character I really like. She may not be from the OSC, but she has my heart, and I really want to share her story with you guys. This is a character essay on Nene Kusanagi from Project Sekai. For those who don't know, you may be thinking, what is Project Sekai? Project Sekai is a Vocaloid rhythm game that centers around Hatsune Miku and 5 other Vocaloids. Their goal is to create worlds, aka Sekais, made up of shared feelings and dreams of a group. There are 5 groups in the game, being Leonid, More Jump, Vivid Bad Squad, Wonderlandic Showtime, and Night Court at 25 o'clock. Nene Kusanagi is from Wonderlandic Showtime. She is also a second year at Kamiyama High School, which is equivalent to junior year. Her hobbies include gaming, watching musicals, acting, and singing. She is in Wonderlandic Showtime along with Tsukasa Tenma, Emu Otori, and Rui Kamishiro. These guys put on shows at the Wonder Stage at the Carnival, Phoenix Wonderland. Their goal is to put on shows of tons of genres and make people smile. Each show feels like you're stepping into new Wonderland. As I got more into Project Sekai, I started reading more and then it really resonated with me. I spent a lot of time dissecting her character and every second was worth it. I love getting to know about her, and she's even helped me in my life in several ways, but that part is for later. This essay isn't a deep dive into Nene's events, but an exploration of the why behind her actions, her emotional depth, the effects of her trauma, and how she grows from it. Nene is a well-liked character, but I rarely see people take that extra step to truly understand her on a deeper, emotional level. That's what this essay is about, unpacking the more subtle aspects to her character, her trauma, how it manifests, and the internal conflicts that shape her growth. Let's start with the personality overview. Nene is shy, lonely, and distant at first. She barely talks to others and would rather keep things to herself and do things alone. She's also determined and logical. Nene looks at things in a realistic way and uses her past and concrete logic as a way to learn and improve. But when something doesn't make sense to her, she gets a little annoyed. Nene is also prone to moodiness and comes off as judgmental or blunt at first glance. She forms opinions easily and gets a little judgy at first, but despite that, Nene is open-minded to new experiences and she's good at seeing multiple perspectives. That is a blessing, but also a curse, because open-mindedness can actually hide anxiety in multiple ways. To simplify it, being open-minded means you're open to new ideas and perspectives. In a way, that also means you're more aware of all the possibilities, even the bad ones. You don't shut things out or stick to one answer easily. That can make it harder to feel satisfied with one answer because there's always another outcome to consider or another outcome to fear. Nana gets anxious easily about most things. Her worries are mainly about social situations or having the potential to mess things up because it's part of what her trauma is about and she blames herself for it. Nana also seems to doubt herself and her abilities, and that can lead to overthinking and comparing herself. Despite being outwardly judgmental, shy, and distant, she's actually kind and sweet at heart. Nana's rudeness is kind of stemmed from her trauma and her mental state. Of course, it's part of who she is, but early on, she overdoes it sometimes. As Nana's mental state improved and she gets things she wants, she starts to be a kinder and softer version of herself, partly resembling her behavior as a child. So now we know that Nana has a lot of contrast. She's distant, judgmental, and blunt, but she's also anxious, introspective, and open-minded. These traits are all shown in the course of her trauma and development. Now, with her personality in mind, let's look at her backstory and trauma. When Nana was young, she was extremely shy, a lot shyer than she is now. She stood around others, talk in a quiet voice, and hide behind her parents. But after she saw The Little Mermaid with Rui, it lit up her world. She was extremely fascinated by it. Her words captures her euphoria. Suddenly, Nana had a dream, a passion, a hobby. This is what got her into theater, acting, and singing. She'd always sing with a smile on her face, practice acting, and watch movies, musicals, and analyze them with Rui. During this time, she was constantly happy, cheerful, and this is like the one thing that made her a softie. When Nene was in middle school, she joined a big theater troupe, and eventually, she practiced so much that she got the lead role. One day, something terrible happened. Nene ended up forgetting the lines at an important rehearsal. People talked ill about it and felt disappointed. Feeling humiliated and crushed after, she quit theater. These events greatly affect Nene's behavior in the early stories. Let's dive into how her trauma responses manifest. For a long time, Nene was alone. Nobody to talk to, and her friendship with Rui even faded. All she could do was stay home and play games all day. This trauma made Nene not afraid of just performing, but talking to anyone in general. She shrivels up and freezes whenever people start talking to her. But partly due to her loneliness and mental state, it also builds up a lot of pessimism and judgment. Nene tends to judge others in her head and form opinions before she really gets to know them, like Akito, Emu, and Tsukasa to a degree, because it's low-key a defense mechanism that masks anxiety and insecurity. This is part of Nene's personality, but also it could be because it feels safer to distance herself before others can hurt her. Trying to make sense of things quickly by judging someone's personality, judging or assuming things about people before you know them is common in people with low self-esteem, and it's to make sense of the unknown. An example of distance is that when Wonder Show started, after Rui invited her, Nene hid behind a robot and talked to Emo and Tsukasa through it. She wasn't shy or scared of being snarky, blunt, and a little show-offy towards them. But when the robot is gone, and she has to speak face-to-face to them, like after that ruined show in the main story, or almost seeing Emo at school, she gets terrified. Obviously, Nene hid behind a robot instead of talking in person because of social anxiety, but also, it's a trauma response due to what happened at the important show. To cope, Nene hides behind a shield to avoid negative feelings and vulnerability. That shield is Robo Nene. When Nene hid behind the Robo Nene, she could basically control it, which is something she's a professional at, handling and using remote controllers. In a way, it also felt like she could control what she said and how she acted, because it wasn't her they were facing, it was the robot. That's also why she was more open and sassy towards Wonder Show at first. Like, behind the robot, she didn't really have to worry about being seen or her presence. Technically, she was hiding from scary things, not to feel scary emotions. This is a form of escapism since she's not dealing with the problems head on, the problem being social anxiety. And because of being in control of a robot and avoiding the problem, talking to people face to face, Nene could be snarky and sarcastic, but it could also be her detaching herself by replying with sarcasm, hiding vulnerabilities, and the result of being detached from people for so long. In general, Nene is sensitive to a lot of things, and when something affects her, she gets moody. At times, she is generally having fun, and she likes joking around, but part of it is guardedness. This is very important, guys. Okay, another thing that makes me believe that Nene's bluntness and pessimism was a defense mechanism and trauma response is that when there's Nene flashbacks or info about her as a child, she's never really snarky, sarcastic, or blunt. She was just shy, withdrawn, and awkward, but became very happy and constantly played pretend after seeing The Little Mermaid. With some other sharp characters, they have some evidence of being, a little bit rude. For example, Irie used to physically fight bullies and retort a lot. Shiho had a past of arguing with people and always seemed determined or blunt. Akito always seemed strict, headstrong, and defensive, especially in his approach with soccer. Anna always had issues with her anger, and she used to scratch Akito during her outburst. Yikes. For Mafiu, I think her case is that her rudeness and bluntness is also a trauma response to being shut down for her whole life. Nana doesn't exactly have a past with having a tough attitude. She was just shy. This is also why I think sarcasm and moodiness could mainly be a trauma response and a result of Nana's bad mental health at the time. That trauma of forgetting her lines in the play also subconsciously influenced Nene's approach to theater. Nene constantly picks up flaws, trying to correct every mistake she hears, practicing non-stop to improve and make sure she doesn't mess up ever again. This is mainly shown in the main story and Nene's first event. In her first event, On This Holy Night I Sing, Nene lands the main role for the Christmas musical. But when Sakuraku Seirin criticized Wonder Show's shows and belittled Nene, saying that she doesn't measure up to her, Nene partly agreed and despite her insecurities. Nene saw how amazing she was at acting, singing, and performing. She was very moved by Sakurako's acting, but it also made her feel inferior. Nene thought as if she had something in her voice that she didn't. She practiced all day in an attempt to improve, but even so, nothing worked no matter what technique she do. Every rehearsal felt half-hearted. Thing is, Nene didn't seem to be satisfied no matter how good she actually was at singing because she forced it. She was so anxious about failing again and picked at every little mistake because she didn't know how to enjoy herself in acting or singing. In a way, she was also afraid that if she let loose and enjoy herself, she would eventually mess up again and fuck up the show. So, she overcompensates by practicing non-stop to perfect everything before the show. This is a trauma response because after she messed up at that one rehearsal, Nene became scared of being emotionally open. She's not letting herself feel when she sings, but only focus on the technical aspects. But music without passion sounds half-hearted. That's why Nene thought she was missing something. But one moment finally changes everything, and Nene finds the missing piece to the puzzle. Nene has a blast from the past. She looks at old videos of her singing and acting as a young kid. It was extremely cute and uplifting. Nene noticed that back then, she was so happy and cheerful while singing, despite it not being the best. That moment makes her reflect on the past versus the present. Soon, she realizes that she's not letting herself feel the passion and feel into the moment, further realizing about how now it's all about perfecting every singing technique and idealizing the perfect voice. But Nene lets go of perfectionism and her high standards. For the first time in forever, Nene lets herself sing with emotion. She lets herself have fun, enjoy herself, and go with the flow. This is the start to her journey of growth and happiness. Now we are done covering the effects of her trauma and early Wonder Show behavior. After her first event, Nene goes through a lot of positive experiences. This is her growth and development. In her last event, On This Holy Night I Sing, Nene relearned about the beauty of passion in music. After that event, she is shown trying new things and opening herself to a new world, her friends, and acting. Mermaid Admiration, her second event, is a great example of this. In that event, Robot Nene gets malfunctioned during her cue for stage, so Rui had to fix her. That led to Nene being on her own and she had to improvise the scene. She gives her character her own monologue, sings, and moves the audience's hearts. Nene and the rest of Wonder Show is so proud of her. This is a huge step in Nene's growth. Nene is slowly becoming more open to the public and she's gaining confidence and her own voice as an actress. Early in the story, Nene would have froze up or ran away after stage failure, but now she's taking action and facing the audience head on. After this, she also meets Yuka Katsumatsuri, her idol, and they have a heartfelt conversation. A key detail is that Yuka tells Nene her story about performing and creating unforgettable bonds with their theater troupe. Sadly, they had to split up to pursue their individual dreams. Nene is hit with reality. After hearing this, Nene is left a bit conflicted and disappointed about her own experiences. She's a little bit unsure with her new information, thinking,
勝手にこれからもみんなとずっと一緒にショーをやり続けていくような気がしてて。
This line reveals that Nene feels shaken and conflicted about not just what she heard, but also the future. As of now, Rui, Tsukasa, and Emu are extremely important to her, and she cherishes her bond with them deeply. The thought of even leaving them and going separate ways feels foreign to her, and the fact that she convinced herself that they keep doing this forever says a lot. The girl who once hid from her trope, who acted snarky and distant at first, is now letting herself feel connected and care for her friends. It also shows how she doesn't fully know what she wants in her future yet. In Island Panic, she's all set on a dream, and she tells Wonder Show that even though they may split up in the future, that they should enjoy the present now. In this event, she is still conflicted and is probably looking at dreamy ideals. Speaking of Island Panic, there's also a lot to unpack too. Not only is that event funny and cute, but it reveals a lot about Nene's character growth. In short, Wonder Show gets lost on an island after their boat crash, and the four of them have to survive in the wild by building shelter and getting food. After they successfully hunt for food, they have a feast at the campfire and talk about their goals, dreams, and the possibility of splitting up. The setting overall is symbolic because Nene is too focused on familiarity, so the island is like a new environment. I feel like the whole thing about grabbing bananas and the monkey chase is chaotic but meaningful for Nene because it strengthens her courage and bond with Wonder Show. Even the craziest, most unexpected events can ultimately grow your confidence. Now, on to the important stuff. So, in this event, Nene finally realizes that she wants to become a world-class musical actress. After a long story of innocent performing, stage trauma, distance, and regaining her passion for theater, Nene is finally sure about committing herself fully to the world of theater. This is also significant because even though she battled with social anxiety, insecurity, and perfectionism, she still wants to become an actress despite its many hardships. The girl who once hid behind a robot and shriveled up when talking to others is now purposely putting herself out there in more ways than one. The girl who would use escapism as a coping mechanism isn't escaping from this challenging dream. Her passion and love for theater is unbreakable. Speaking of growing out of her shell, Nene fully realizes how important Emu, Tsukasa, and Ruby is to her, and she appreciates every moment they have together, even if 99% of it is questionable. They're the ones she finds comfort and company in and accept Nene for who she is. Wonder Show is also a fun and uplifting group. Everyone in it is super nice, open-minded, funny, and understanding. They're all very uplifting, and all four of them help each other grow. Everyone needs Wonderland-like Showtime in their life. Okay, Nene even gives a long speech that even if the future is risky and they all might split up one day, that they should enjoy the present and cherish every moment. In Mermaid Admiration, Nene is conflicted about this very topic, about Wonder Show splitting up. In this event, She's grown confidence in her goals and she's thriving mentally. Speaking of her mental state, there's a specific conversation that talks about it.
あと、日時計も作ってみたよ。やっぱり時間がわからないと不便だからね。
日時計って太陽の光と影を使って時間を測るやつでしょ。なんか異様に装飾が凝ってるけど。
拾った木の棒を立てるだけじゃつまらないと思ってね。木を石で削って彫刻して技巧を凝らしてみたというわけさ。
そんなとこまでこだわってるなんて全然サバイバルって感じしないんだけど。
サバイバルという感じの方がいいということか。そうなると快適さはなくなるか。
ネネもそういうものが楽しめる余裕が出てきたということかな。
This conversation says a lot about Nene's growth and Ruby as a character. In Ruby's line, I think it just means that Nene is in a place where she can enjoy something like that now. Accurately reflects her development and growth. In this conversation, they were having a silly conversation about a sundial. If Nene wasn't where she was now, she would probably react less playfully and more seriously. Also, this line says a lot about Ruby too. It shows just how observant he is of others, including his childhood friend. That line shows how good he is at reading in between the lines from one simple conversation. A normal person would just look at the conversation and think they're just like talking about sundials, but Rui can pick up on the subtle cues on Nene's attitude. In the Wonder Show arc, he realized how Nene has regained her spark over time. As Nene's childhood friend, Rui tends to watch her closely and notice subtle changes in her behavior and mood, noticing how happy Nene is compared to when Wonder Show just started. This goes both ways because Nene is the same way with Rui, and she wants to help him grow and watch his behavior change, but this essay isn't about their friendship though. Rui's one line reflects what I'm about to say next. Nene's growth isn't just about being more open or confident, but she becomes more emotionally open with Wonder Show and herself. Because before, Nene wasn't just shy, but she was also extremely guarded, snarky, and came off as aloof. But what happened? As I read more Wonder Show stories, I paid attention to Nene's behavior. I noticed that she slowly drops the pessimism and replaces it with optimism. But also, her snark has toned down a lot. Her toning down the snark is symbolic of her mental state improving. Of course she's still blunt and she thinks Wonder Show is weird, but that's just a part of who she is. But also, she starts to show affection a little more openly. She openly shows care for all of Wonder Show in sweet ways. For example, in MO3, Nene compliments Tsukasa's acting skills and she wants to go to more acting workshops because of him. In that same event, she and Rui are observant of how Emu is doing and plan a whole PXL day just for her. She also reminds Tsukasa not to push himself too far and rest in Tsukasa 3. There are also multiple times where she's supporting her friends and she cares for them deeply. Back then, she would constantly give snide remarks of Wonder Show, even when it came to the smallest things. Now, she just vibes with them and she lets them be themselves. Wonder Show is also symbolic of playfulness, innocence, and energy in Nene's life. Rui came from a time of innocence and imagination. Tsukasa showcases ambition and grit, and Emu is a ball of optimism. This is in contrast to Nene's quiet demeanor, but these three subtly influence how she looks at life. They give Nene a little push to become more open, but also to reconnect with her childhood in a way, and to go through fun experiences. Because of them, Nene finds her true feelings. As a young child, Nene was much happier, innocent, and pure. There are a good amount of parallels to Nene now and Nene in her childhood. In a different post, I will elaborate on the subject of her growth and the parallels to her childhood. I will also explain how her 4th and 5th events and those commissioned songs of those events connect to her growth and childhood. And that sums up the essay of The Neglected Complexities of Nene Kusanagi. Now, let's dive into fan views and my own personal experience with Nene. First, let's talk about why Nene is realistic and relatable. When I look at Project Sekai content and I see people talking about Nene, they mainly say that they find her realistic, relatable, and inspirational, and that's what makes her such a good character. I think fans can relate to her shyness, being chronically online, and her overthinking. Traits like those are very common in today's society, and many can connect to her over that. The way that she opens up emotionally and gains confidence is a good way to show fans how you can always become a better version of yourself, and that it's okay to let your guard down a little, let go of perfectionism, and live a little. I also think the writers do a good job with fleshing Nene's character out without making her too angsty or overwhelming. All of her events have a consistent and cohesive writing style, and they follow a similar pattern. In those events, she doubts herself and has internal conflicts, but in the end, she always learns from them and it develops her character. I love how even though she's not flashy, obviously complex or loud, that she still has a great storyline and awesome writing. Nene is a great example to fans of Project Sekai. Nene is more than just a character to me. I don't just see her as my favorite character or someone to love, but a reflection of myself. Liking her has changed my life, and I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for her. The part where Nene is snarky and guarded on the outside, but kind and understanding on the inside really hits for me. And in a way, it reminds me of myself. Because I liked her and I read more stories, I started to learn how to love more, feel more, and be more grateful for the people in my life, and grateful for my gifts and talents, and feel the care that others give me. If I'm being honest, for a long time, I emotionally distanced myself from others, and I felt like nobody truly cared for me, and that I didn't care for anyone. But because of Nene and other circumstances, I started to realize that people really do care for me, and that I do care for others too, and it helped me start to feel connection more deeply again. Loving Nene and loving her felt like I was giving love and credit to a part of myself that I never had before, and I will never forget that. I also have some habits I struggle with my whole life that I'm now working on and improving. She really inspires people, even me, to improve and to be the best version of yourself, and I love that about her. It may be hard and I may doubt myself a lot, but in the end, I always keep going, always trying to improve. This year, because of Nene, I learned that the first step to personal growth is self-acceptance, because if you try to get better and you hate yourself, your efforts will all feel like nothing and your motivation will die. So guys, if you're looking for self-growth, take a deep look at yourself and recognize your strengths, abilities, things to work on, but best of all, have a high opinion in yourself. I hope you all enjoy this video. This essay took me around 1 month to revise, write, edit, and I planned this since April. It took a lot of writing, passion, analyzing, learning, and even doubt to finish this. Honestly, I never really finished long-ass projects, so I'm really proud that I finished this. Who's your favorite Project Sekai character, and what's your experience with them? Or if it's Nene, tell me about it. Or who's your favorite character in any franchise or like game, TV show? And did your experience with them change you in any way? Like how Nene changed me? Tell me about it. If you disagree with this essay or learn from it, please let me know. I'm open to any discussion about this. Bye!